What's happening? Y'all like my fit? These bright ass pants. This bright ass light with these bright ass pants. And my wrinkled white shirt. Hey, mind your business. I ain't feel like earning. What's cracking, y'all? How y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Happy Friday. Man, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think this is like the 5th episode I need to drop so far. I think so. I think it's like the 5th episode. Cause I think last week was the Fresh Prince. The week before that was All the Queen's Men. The week before that was Martin, and the week before that was the Steve Harvey Show. So I think this is episode 5. I haven't been listening to episodes mainly because what I think I've been doing on the thumbnails. I think I just been putting the episode number up top, except for the first 2, because I noticed I didn't put it on Martin and Steve Harvey Show. I didn't put that on there, but this is like episode 5. Technically episode 6 because I got an episode that I dropped a year ago almost. But I didn't count that one because that was I don't know. I didn't count that one as the first episode. Technically it is, but it isn't. But anyway, y'all ain't come here to hear me talk about that crap. Welcome to Real Talk with Tay Nicole, the TV show edition. I am your host, Tay Nicole, as always, baby. Listen, everybody, remember, Friday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, these are going to drop on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. So wherever you like to listen to your podcast at, it's going to be there. Hopefully sooner or later I might be able to get on iHeartRadio. You never know. You never know. Y'all keep rocking with me and y'all can watch me grow. Cause we gonna grow together. You dig me? And I don't want to sound cliche, but it does take a village to grow a person. It does. It takes a village. And I love my village. Y'all have been the realest that I have ever seen. I don't care if it's only 90 y'all to come back and watch the episode or if it's 200 y'all to come back and watch the episode. I appreciate y'all wholeheartedly. It makes my heart melt to see y'all come back and rock with your girl. I love it. I appreciate it. I really, truly, 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 truly do. But today's episode is going to be a little bit different. And I told y'all this last week that today's episode is going to be a little different. I did. I pre-warned y'all. So don't say I didn't tell y'all because I definitely did. I pre-warned y'all. Today's episode is going to be a little different mainly because we're not talking about a specific season and or episode. We're talking about a specific character today. So it's going to be a little bit different. And the reason why I wanted to break this down because I wanted to show y'all how broad TV shows will take can really be and show y'all the versatility within my podcasting. I don't need any notes necessarily for TV shows with Tay. I do keep them just in case so I can stay on track. But I also want to just give y'all this communication of where we're talking to each other without you responding back. Nod your head if you understand. You understand. So today, if you lend me your ear, we're going to talk about one of my personal favorite shows and one of my personal favorite characters. She's got her ups, she's got her downs. She's a ride or die. She's definitely a queen. She's definitely, an ace boom coon. And I swear to you on everything. I hope one day I get to meet this woman and work with this woman on a project because I truly respect her craft, her and her co-star. I definitely appreciate their craft and I would love to work with both of them on a project. So I'm speaking it into existence. Then I'm going to run into her. We're going to shoot a podcast episode together. We're going to work on some movies or TV shows or something. We're going to work on something together. I just can feel it in my bones, bruh. But let's jump right in today's episode. We're talking about the legendary Crystal Renee Hazlett, aka Fatima, on Sisters and Zatima. But we're focusing on Zatima today. So, If you guys don't know, Tyler Perry has a show called Sisters. Well, on Sisters, you got two characters, Zach and Fatima, who fell in love and they took the world by storm, okay? They took the world by storm, you dig me? And they ended up getting a spinoff called Zatima. Zatima is basically a deeper look into Zach and Fatima's life, right? Where we get to see the ins and outs of their relationships and how they actually grown and how they developed and how they really became where they are. Because see, on Sisters, you just get to see minor tit for tat issues. You get to see, you know, the glitz and glamour sometimes, but you don't get to see the real down and dirty of it, right? So in Zatima, you get to see the real down and dirty between Zach and Fatima. You get to see it, and it's so relatable, it's so real, it's so raw, man. Like it's almost realistic. It is. It's almost. There's a few things it's not. But like I said, we're not here to talk about the entire show as a team, but just one specific character, and that's Miss Fatima Wilson. Oops, sorry, Zach. Fatima Taylor. Because you ain't gonna take me out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But listen. I want to talk about Fatima's character because I want to kind of break down some of Fatima, if you will. I want to kind of shed my light on some of her from what I've seen from season 1 to season 4 of Zatima. So, of course, you get to witness growth from Fatima's character for sure. But I know I'm about to get a lot of slack for this. I'm about to get a lot of slack because I'm going to tear her down before I build her up, okay? Fatima's a hypocrite. Okay? She's a hypocrite. I said it. She's a hypocrite. She does have a tad bit of insecurity issues that she's working on. She does have a tad bit of some jealousy, which is kind of normal, kind of sort of. And she's got a few other things about her that she definitely still needs to work on, right? So from season 1 to season 3, you see a super huge growth in Fatima from where she started to where she is now. She's learning to let go of her past traumas to allow herself to open up the doors to love Zach in full throttle. But at the same time, she's holding back because some of her insecurities and her hypocrisy blocks her. And I'm going to get a lot of slack for saying she's a hypocrite. And I'm going to tell you why I say she's a hypocrite in a minute. But you get to see her develop. And season 4 just came out, so we're still watching her develop, of course. But season 4 is not complete yet, so I can't really speak on season 4. So we're really focusing on season 1 through 3 of her characteristics. Okay. So let's dive into the hypocrite comment. The reason why I said Fatima's a hypocrite is because you cannot sit here and tell somebody that they can't do something because of their criminal record, but then you turn around and do shit that will give you a criminal record and it's okay. I do not like that. I do think that Fatima is completely wrong for doing stuff like that. I understand she likes to protect Zach and keep him from going to prison. However, she do shit that's gonna send her to prison. And she's lucky she ain't been to prison yet, to be completely honest. As Zach did mention that in his sisters one time, he don't know how she ain't got no record. And I don't know either, because the shit she do be crazy. But she's a bit of a hypocrite, and this is where it comes in at. So Fatima has this thing about her where Zach can't do shit because of his past discretions. But she can do whatever she want to, and Zach's supposed to just be okay with it. For example, Zach makes a lot of bad mistakes. You know, a lot of dumb shit that he does. But part of it's because of his upbringing, where he's from, and the women he's used to dealing with allows him to do stupid shit. So he's trying to break that mold. And Zach, he tries to tell Fatima everything that he can to let her know to see him, you know, raw, open, and vulnerable, right? However, Fatima got this thing about her where she feel like it's okay to process her emotions, and which is, don't get me wrong, that is okay to process your emotions. I'm not saying it's not. But she feels like that she has the right to tell Zach when Zach is allowed to discuss his emotions about something. You may not be ready to speak on something, but you can't tell him when he's ready to speak on something. Like, if you don't want to talk about something, that's fine. You don't have to have a comment. Allow him to speak as he feels freely. Two, certain things Fatima was doing from season 1 to season 3 was not okay. For example, when Zach didn't know her tire caught a flat and she accepted help from a strange man who she knew found her attractive, that to me was sneaky and conniving. Mainly because to me you was trying to prove a point to Zach that without you even having to try, a nigga gonna bend over backwards for you. And I get it, but that wasn't the time to be trying to flaunt shit like that in Zach's face. And she tried to play like knowing her man, and you know your man, so you knew that Zach wasn't gonna be cool with this nigga changing your tire for free and knowing that he's an attractive man. That's another thing. Because regardless if men want to admit it or not, men know if another man is fine or not. And they might not say fine. They'll say attractive or handsome or whatever case may be. But men be knowing. Men ain't stupid. Especially when they know they girl's tight. Right? You dig me? Now, Fatima like to keep a lot of things hush hush from Zach because she feel like she's protecting him. In the same breath, you kind of not protecting him. Like, for example, in season 3, when her and Zach finally got back good from season 2 bullshit that they went through some shit in season 2. When her and Zach finally got good in season 3, Zach has a brother who's on drugs, and his brother attacked Fatima over some money. And Fatima decided to not tell Zach about the incident because she didn't want him to go and beat the shit out of Jeremiah, which he ended up doing anyway, but only because they kept it from him for so long. Because me personally, when they got home that night and Zach asked her, why do you think they came all the way over here to tell me something? Fatima, hypocritical ass, should just told him the truth because you weren't necessarily protecting just Zach. You were protecting yourself because you had already kept it a secret from him for that long. Even though it just happened that day, you had already kept it a secret from him for that long. And then to go days without telling him. In all honesty, Zach's a grown man. So you should have told him anyway to allow him to make his own decision on his own. When y'all was at home in the comfort of in y'all home, just y'all two, you should have told him. Because even if he would have left to try to go jump on his brother, you were home. And you 9 times out of 10 could have prevented him from doing it right then and there. So she feel like Zach don't have a right to defend his family the way he sees fit because she's afraid of him going to jail, which is right. It's okay. But you cannot, in the same breath, tell him he can't defend his family in a way that he sees fit, but then you go and try to defend your man in the way you see fit. And y'all don't get to see it on Zatima, but on Sisters, the shit she do on Sisters, the having Hayden beat up, the beating up Tamara, the checking Gary, putting a knife to Gary's throat, all kind of shit that she done. It's so hypocritical to feel like you can get away with your shit, but if Zach do something, all hell break loose. So to me, that's where that hypocrite part come from. Now, her insecurities stem from the fact that all the men she's dealt with in the past that then left. Ian, Malachi, and there's probably a whole host of two or three different niggas that we don't know about that then left her at the altar, as she like to say. So because of those incidents, her insecurity levels are a little bit high because she does still question, is it me or is it just these niggas, you know? But she puts up this tough exterior to try to hide her insecurities and try to hide the fact and the proof that's in the pudding. She tries to hide it. And it's like, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to show your spouse your insecurities because typically that's how your insecurities become your securities. Is because once you show your spouse your insecurities, and if they're the right person, a lot of times they're able to turn those insecurities into securities and let you know that it's okay to feel how you feel. It's okay. We could talk it out. We can work it out. And her insecurities go hand in hand with her slight jealousy because her jealousy stems from Zach's past. You know, part of her insecurities also stem from his past. Because Zach done messed around with a lot of women. You know what I'm saying? He didn't mess with a lot of women. And quote unquote, he got a baby mama that I still don't believe is his baby mama. I still don't believe it's his baby. And maybe in season 4 we'll find out that's really not his kid because I don't think that's really his kid. I never did. I still think that somebody tampered with that DNA test because I don't think Michael's his son. Don't get me wrong. Look, I want the little brother still keep getting a check, but I just don't think that's his son. Just to be real. just to be completely honest and completely real, I just don't think it's his kid. And even if it turns out it's not his kid, I think Tyler will have them write it into where Zach still fights for full custody of him so he can give him a better life. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think Tyler's gonna write it out, or Courtney, because Courtney wrote season 4. I think they're gonna write it out that it turns out that Michael's not Zach's son, but Zach's going to actually, take care of his son. I'm sorry, we weren't supposed to be talking about Zach. We were supposed to be talking about Fatima. My bad. We'll talk about Zach in another episode. But back to Fatima. But her insecurities and her jealousy stems from Zach's past. Like I said, baby mama drama and all that other jazz. And then on top of that, in season 2, they got into it because of her indiscretions and stuff that her lies, basically. She lied about her and Ian. Well, she didn't lie. No, she did lie because he asked her directly. So she did lie to him. So Zach actually did have a reason to be bad. But anyway, basically, Fatima kind of basically kept a secret from Zach because she wasn't ready to tell him what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, her ex-best friend Belinda made a pass at Zach. She shot at this bitch. And you know what I'm saying? Like a lot happened. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a lot. And hormones was flying everywhere. It was just a lot. But her jealousy grew even bigger when Zach signed a lease with to their next door neighbor, Deja, who was a stripper. And her insecurity just grew bigger and bigger. And then it got even bigger when we found out at the end of season 2 that she pregnant. You dig what I'm saying? So, oh, you know what? You know what's crazy too? I forgot to put spoiler in my my previous video. Let me go and fix that real quick. But what's crazy about a lot of this is simply that her emotions get the best of her a lot, and she tends to fly off the handle a lot. Like Fatima, just that's my girl, but she flies off the handle a little too much for me because she has a tendency to think that Zach is supposed to, bend over backwards for her and do what she want him to do when she want him to do it, but it's not a two-way street sometimes with Fatima. It's not. And I love that character to death. That's my Ace Boone Coon. I love that character. However, she do really need to work on her inability to allow Zach to be Zach, to say the least. Sorry, I got caught up in doing this real quick. My phone is tweaking. All right, there we go. I forgot to put spoiler alert on there. Sorry, y'all. I got the sidetrack because I forgot to do about that. But I don't know. I want to touch base more on Fatima's character, but I don't want to keep. It's a lot to break down about her character, and maybe what I'll do is I'll probably pull a specific episode sooner or later, and kind of talk to y'all about that specific episode, and I just might do that. You dig me? But for real, like I said, her character is a dope ass character. She's a ride or die. She's A1 from day one, but she just has things about her that she needs to work on, which, like I said, you're gradually getting to see, because from season 1 to season 4, she's become a different woman. She really has. Especially so in like season 3, I think she finally understood Zach's point of view about some of the shit, and Zach finally understood her point of view about some of the shit they was going through. But I feel like that she kind of, sees now. But then it kind of made sense why she was so emotional and going through so much chaos in season 2, because she was pregnant. It made more sense because another thing she was hypocrite about, because she punched the shit out of Deja and snatched her out that hot tub, but you was mad at Zach for beating up his brother for putting his hands on you. You see how hypocritical that is a little bit? Do y'all see how hypocritical that is a little bit? Maybe it's just me. But anyway, I digress. But from season 1, her insecurities, her jealousy, her hypocriticalness was heavy in season 1. And then moving into season 2, some of her hypocritical ways was going away. I'm not gonna lie, some of it's going away. And her jealousy was still strong, and so was her insecurities. They definitely was very, very still strong, because she had a tendency to run every time her and Zach got into it. She'd just leave the house. She wouldn't want to talk it out and try to work it out. She just would run. you know, and that's to me that's a partial sign of insecurities when you just run. And I mean, when I say run, I mean she left the house completely, didn't stay in the house, didn't try to calm down and didn't talk about it. No, she just pew, ran to Angela as soon as shit got heavy. And then in season 3, you see more of her growth, but still see some of her trying to quote unquote protect Zach while she's trying to get better. And I say protect Zach because part of it wasn't just protecting Zach, part of it was protecting herself because she didn't want to take a chance on Zach going to prison and she be alone. So she kind of was protecting herself too. And then like I said, season 4 just popped up so far. You know, I think it's like 8 episodes deep, and so far, it's good. Good than a motherfucker. So far, season 4 is good. And she's doing great. Her pregnancy is getting to her, but that's normal because it's hormones, you know, they everywhere. But she's really actually doing pretty good. Besides the fact that she still ain't told her man about Leslie and what Leslie got going on. Like, you pregnant, so you really should be telling him what's going on, because if something happened to you and your and that baby, woo, Zach gonna lose it. You dig me? But tell me how y'all like that style of episode working. I've been your host, Tay Nicole. This is Real Talk with Tay TV Shows Edition. I just wanted to talk about that real quick. It's been burning in my soul, you dig me? So I wanted to talk about it a little bit. But I do appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Once again, every Friday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, podcast is dropping on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Find me where you find me, baby. And don't forget to subscribe to With Your Old Ass Podcast and link up over there as well with your girl. In the meantime, in between time, y'all stay blessed, highly favored, and don't forget, have a good Friday. Peace out.